Hey, what's up, guys? This is Andrew Osentowski. It's Monday, October 19th, 2020. I am doing my UFC 254 predictions. We're off a nice win over UFC on ESPN Plus 38 this past Saturday, October 17th, 2020. Brian Ortega plus 158 cashed out for us. That was a nice winning night for us. On the UFC 254, Khabib versus Gaethje. First fight of the night, Yoel Alvarez against Alexander Yakovlev. A lot of money has been coming in on Alexander Yakovlev. I mean, he does tend to go to decisions with fighters. He is coming off a loss to Roosevelt Roberts, who has looked bad his last couple fights. He's coming off a win before that to Alex da Silva against Yoel Alvarez. I think this guy is an emerging talent, man, and I don't really understand the action coming in on Yakovlev. Yoel Alvarez went from a 4-1 underdog to Joe Duffy to a 2-1 favorite over Alexander Yakovlev. But I think that's deserving, man. I think Yoel Alvarez is gigantic for lightweight, and he's really coming into his own. And I expect him to get a win here, man. I don't know if he's gonna catch a submission on Yakovlev. I can see him hurting him with his boxing. Possibly catching a submission on Yakovlev if Yakovlev tries to come for a takedown. He's got long legs, long limbs for the weight class. He's 6'3". He's a 6'3" lightweight. Yakovlev is a big lightweight himself. He is also 6'3". But I just think Yoel Alvarez is just going to be a little too much for Yakovlev, man. I don't know. I guess I do kind of understand that, Yakovlev can make it a scrappy fight. Hence, people coming in on Yakovlev as underdog. But to have that kind of faith in Yakovlev, betting on him, I couldn't do it. But my official pick here will be Yoel Alvarez by decision. Next fight up. Great fight we got here. Casey Kenney. He's coming off a win a few weeks ago against Nathaniel Wood. And he just kept kicking Haile Elatang a few weeks ago. I can't believe Haile Elatang took all those kicks from him to the body, man. He was so red. And he wanted to make a quick turnaround, and he got it against Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood has looked great outside of his loss to John Dodson last February. But, Kenney is minus 185 right now on 5 dimes. I believe he opened as a minus 145 on BetOnline. He opened up as a minus 225 on 5 dimes. But I'm going to go with Kenney here, man. Even though Nathaniel Wood should make for a scrappy underdog, I'm going to go with Casey Kenney here, man. I think he keeps improving. I think he keeps the fight standing. And I just think he outstrikes Nathaniel Wood, possibly gets a finish. But my official pick will be Casey Kenney by decision. Next up, we have a women's flyweight fight. Liana Jojua against Miranda Maverick. Miranda Maverick making her UFC debut. Coming off some nice wins in Invicta over UFC vet Pearl Gonzalez. And she's primarily a submission fighter. She has some wins by decision. She beat Pearl Gonzalez by decision. Liana Jojua, she's a Georgian fighter. She has 2 UFC appearances, losing to Sarah Moras in her first UFC fight. And coming off a nice win as an underdog against Deanna Belbita with an armbar finish last July. But Miranda Maverick is a huge favorite and almost a 4-1 favorite, currently at minus 375 on Bookmaker. I'm going with Liana Jojua, man. Liana Jojua is also a ground fighter primarily, and I could see her catching Miranda Maverick. And I like the woman that has the UFC experience under her belt. This is her 3rd UFC fight. Nurmamedgov has some hype behind her, pressure on her. First UFC fight. She's young. Jojua is also young, but she's got the UFC experience. I'm going to go with Jojua for the upset. First round submission. Next up, we have Jung against Sam Lv. Light heavyweight division. Jung coming off, he's an undefeated. No, he's not an undefeated, but he's on a 12-fight win streak. 26 years old, out of South Korea, fighting against Sam Lv, who's just a old vet at this point, man. 30. Well, he's 34, so he's not too old, but he's old in fight years because he's been around forever. And he's on a 4-fight losing streak, man. And they're giving Jung this fight to build him up even more. And they're giving him Sam Lv to do it. And I'm going to go with Jung. First round knockout. Sam Lv's a tough fighter, so we may not put him out of there. But I don't think Sam Lv's as durable as he once was. Jung is a -400. So don't touch that. But my official pick will be Jung by first round knockout. Next up, welterweight division. Alex Oliveira against the debutant Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I'm going to go with Rakhmonov by decision here, man. We got a Kazakhstan fighter. These guys are tough, hardened individuals from the Asian continent, man. And a lot of his fights and then knockout and TKO, but I think he's gonna get Alex Oliveira out of there at some point. Oliveira is a tough guy, but and Oliveira looked really good against Peter Sabata his last fight, but he's up and down in his UFC career. So I'm gonna go with the debutant Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'm gonna go with him by decision. Actually, I think Oliveira is tough enough to last, and I'm gonna go Rakhmonov by decision. He is a plus 122 underdog. A lot of money coming in on him. Oliveira opened up as a -195 and 5 dimes. I'm gonna go Rakhmonov, man. I don't think it's ever wise to really bet money on Oliveira as a favorite. Can't really trust what he's going to do. Next up, we have heavyweight Stefan Struve against Tuivasa. Two guys that rather disappointing. Struve's been around forever, the Dutchman. Coming off a loss to Ben Rothwell. He's won 1 out of his last 5 fights. Not high on him anymore, man. I was high on him back in the early 2010s, but not anymore. Tuivasa, I had a lot of hype behind him. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. They're giving him one last shot in the UFC to get a win over, a veteran like Struve, who's primarily a ground fighter. And I'm going to go with Tuivasa, man. First round TKO. On to the main card. Magomed Ankalaev against Ian Cutelaba. Maybe the 3rd time is a charm. Trying to book this fight. They fought once and then controversial TKO win for Ankalaev. Ankalaev is currently -325. I'm gonna go to Cutelaba, man. I mean, Cutelaba's a live dog, man. He always is. Brings a lot of pressure. He has great cardio. Heavy hands. I'm gonna go with a first round TKO, man. I think he can possibly catch Ankalaev and hurt him and get him out of there. I'm gonna go Cutelaba. Next up, we have Lauren Murphy taking on late replacement Lilia Shakirova, who is from Uzbekistan, and I'm gonna go with the underdog here, man. Lilia Shakirova, man. I mean, this is women's MMA. This is a flyweight fight, and Lauren Murphy being a minus 250 over another, I can never do it, man. I'm gonna go with the debutant, the debutante, Lilia Shakirova, first round TKO. Maybe she catches Lauren Murphy coming in, but the value's all on the debutante, in my opinion. Next up on the main card, Phil Hawes against Jacob Malkoun. Phil Hawes trying to get in the UFC multiple times. Lost to Julian Marquez by head kick. Dana White Contender Series 2017. I believe he was in World Series of Fighting. Yes, he was. A couple times. Lost to Luis Taylor. Beat Joshua Key. He's had some nice win on the Contender Series against Keds Samirat. Best of 5. Overhand right to ground and pound. I remember watching that September 8th, 2020. Going up against Jacob Malkoun, who's a training partner of Robert Whittaker. He's 4-0 as a pro. What a couple of TKO wins and 2 decision wins. I'm going to go with Malkoun, man. Training with Whittaker. It's a big underdog to Hawes. Hawes is currently a minus 280. The comeback on Malkoun plus 200 plus 214. I'm going to go with Malkoun by first round knockout, man. Maybe he catches Hawes and puts him out of there. But to me, the value is on Malkoun, man. Couldn't lay a minus 280 on Phil Hawes, nor any fighter, to be honest. Next up, heavyweight fight on the main card, Alexander Volkov against Walt Harris, man. Walt Harris, we know he's got devastating power. He's got 1 round of cardio in him. He's shown that he fades, and he's not really good at picking up decision wins. I don't even know if he has a decision win in the UFC. But I just think Alexander Volkov, man, if Alexander Volkov can survive the first round, not get clipped by anything heavy that Walt Harris throws, which is a big task itself, because Walt Harris is a fast heavyweight, quick hands. I think he can put Walt Harris out in the second round, so I'm going to go with Alexander Volkov by second round TKO. I wouldn't lay the price, though, man. Volkov is currently a minus 163 favorite. Comeback on Harris, plus 130. Next up on the main card, co-main, Robert Whittaker against Jared Cannonier. I see a lot of people behind Robert Whittaker here, man, and I don't really understand it, man. I think people continually discount Jared Cannonier. I understand it could be a tricky fight for Cannonier, but I just think Cannonier is going to put out Whittaker, man. Cannonier isn't just a good puncher with heavy hands. He's got great get-ups from his wrestling. I believe he could possibly use some great offensive wrestling of his own if he wanted to. But he's got devastating low kicks, man. Devastating leg kicks, man. That's how he took out Anderson Silva. He hit Jack Hermanson with some. He's got heavy hands, man. He used to be a former heavyweight, now fighting at middleweight. I think this is some kryptonite to Robert Whittaker here. I think the minute he touches Whittaker, it's over. I'm going with a second round TKO for Jared Cannonier, who moves on to fight Israel Adesanya for the middleweight belt after this fight. Currently, we're seeing a reverse shift of odds. Whittaker is now minus 120. Cannonier is a minus 110. Man, I am tempted to bet on this fight. It's not a model play, but I just think Cannonier will catch this guy and put him out, man. No bet for me right now, but that's the way I'm leaning. Jared Cannonier by second round TKO. Main event, Khabib Nurmamedgov against Justin Gaethje. Great fight here, man. 2 warriors. Justin Gaethje. Man, he had a couple tough UFC fights in his early part of his UFC career. Beat Michael Johnson in his debut. Lost to Alvarez and Dustin Poirier in back-to-back fights that were just wars. He's on a 4-fight win streak. Took the interim title from Tony Ferguson, man. I mean, Tony Ferguson had like a 12-fight win streak coming into that fight, man. That was so... I bet Justin Gaethje. He was a model play back in May at UFC 249 when he beat Tony. That was awesome. But he's going up against the 28-0 Khabib Nurmamedgov. And I'm going with Khabib here, man. I don't think Justin is a live dog. Now, there's always got to be hype behind somebody that's about to face one of the best to ever do it, man. Khabib's been in the UFC since 2012. He's fought a who's who, you know. And I just think he's going to take down Justin Gaethje like he's done every opponent, man. And I think he's going to get a third-round submission. I think he's eventually going to break Gaethje, man. I know Gaethje presents some challenges on the feet, but I don't think it's going to matter enough. I'm going to go with Khabib Nurmamedgov by third-round submission. Those are my picks for UFC 254, guys. Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.